stared into the darkness for a moment before slowly climbing through the hole and into the dark lava tube. Carefully placing one foot in front of the other, she walked past dripping walls. As she moved deeper, a low rumbling sound began to build, and soon she could tell it was the sound of a waterfall. Intrigued, she picked up her pace. When she stepped around an enormous boulder, she saw something that nearly knocked her to her knees. A giant hidden cavern filled with dozens of ocean-voyaging boats. She rushed toward the boats in awe and ran her hand along their smooth wooden sides, looking up at the majestic sails towering above. She jumped from boat to boat, exploring them, amazed by their beauty and intrigued by the adventures they must have seen. The wide waterfall poured into the cavern's glistening pool. It also helped disguise the entrance from the sea so that it could not be seen from the outside. A canoe floated at the foot of the waterfall. Excited, Moana jumped onto the hull and maneuvered the boom. As the sail swung around, it revealed a massive double-hulled canoe behind it. Each hull was a support float that helped the boat stay steady on the ocean. Moana knew by looking at it that the canoe had carried many things. Moana climbed onto the double-hulled canoe's upper deck and noticed a log drum. "Bang the drum," she said to herself, repeating her grandmother's words. Moana picked up a thick pair of wooden sticks that sat beside the drum and tentatively banged on it. Nothing happened. She banged again, this time a bit louder, and waited, wondering if something was going to happen. It was quiet for another moment. But then suddenly she heard an echo, a rhythm as clear as an old familiar song. Moana listened carefully, then banged out the same rhythm, and something did happen. Whoosh! The chilly wind returned, and lines of torches magically lit, illuminating the tupper sail of the boat. Moana stared at the sail as it filled with wind and began to move, rhythmically waving. The drum continued to play, banging out an ancient pattern that reverberated against the stone cavern walls, filling it with music. In Moana's imagination, a shadowy sea came to life on the sail, as if it were right in front of her. It played out the story of her ancestors, voyagers who navigated the ocean by the wind, the moon, and the stars at night. They used the sun, waves, and currents to find their way during the day. Captivated, Moana watched as the sail showed how the adventurous group voyaged from island to island, over the rolling swells of the ocean, unafraid of its endlessness, unafraid of the far-off horizon line. They were confident and proud. And when it was time to find a new home, they bravely sailed across the ocean to find one. "We were voyagers," Moana said, letting the surprising fact sink into her mind. "We were voyagers," she repeated. She could hardly contain her excitement. Outside the secret cavern, Grandma Tala could hear Moana as she raced back out yelling, "We were voyagers!" Shaking, she sat down next to Grandma Tala on a rock and asked, "Why'd we stop?" Grandma Tala grunted and said one word, "Maui." She pointed to the horizon, and Moana pictured it coming to life in her mind, seeing images to match Grandma Tala's tale. When he stole from the mother island, darkness fell. Te Kā awoke. Monsters lurked, and boats stopped coming back. To protect our people, the ancient chiefs forbade voyaging, and we forgot.